From Northern Ireland to Yemen to Afghanistan, award-winning journalist Jane Ferguson has been on the front line of history for the last 15 years.
The New York Times calls her new book a brutally honest exploration of what it means to be a war reporter. It's called No Ordinary Assignment, a memoir. And we say good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, war coverage, you see a lot of video of buildings destroyed and statistics. And what do you try to do that's different?
For me, with a lot of my work through PBS, with the NewsHour and writing for the New Yorker, I really try to get past what we tend to call in the business just the bang bang, the actual combat of war, and really dig deeper into the human experiences, whether you're a soldier or a civilian, like living through war. I always say, in my experience, war is experienced by people on an individual level. So those of us who are storytellers, who are really, really addicted to getting in there and making sure people understand that, really try to find individuals and tell their stories. It means reporting at length, in depth, but it really means focusing on the human impact of conflict wherever you are.
Well, let's show some of your photos. We're scrolling through them here. We have a photo of you with Taliban commanders. Talk about what you've experienced as a woman, especially as a war reporter.
For me, when I was a kid, you mentioned I grew up in Northern Ireland. I was watching the real pioneers, the generation of women before me that were out in the field. I was very much so inspired to go out. And I do find now that there are more female foreign correspondents in the field, even in places as unbelievably patriarchal and repressive against women as places like Afghanistan under Taliban rule. There are female journalists going out there and challenging them and talking to them and asking questions. We tend to be viewed through a lens of being something of a third sex, I think, because as foreigners and strange-looking creatures to a lot of people, because we may be female, but we're sort of dressed like men in many people's eyes, or we may be doing what some would view as a man's job. So sometimes we get a little bit of a pass in that regard, but certainly, I think every woman in this job knows what it feels like to walk into a room and have to sort of hope that the novelty item of you being a woman will eventually fade and we can get to work.
Let's take a look at some photos. This first one, I believe, is in Mosul in 2017.
That's right. That was the campaign against ISIS. Mosul was where ISIS had declared their caliphate in Iraq, even though the capital was technically across the border in Raqqa in Syria. And this was the most intense moment of the battle against ISIS, because you had a US-led coalition that was helping Iraqi forces, in particular Iraqi special forces, who I was with on that day, push them back. But now that we've looked back over the years at that conflict, we now know that urban fighting was some of the most intense urban fighting ever to have happened. And so many of us journalists were actually given a front row seat to that fight because the Iraqi military were so welcoming to reporters, and they were allowing us to get to the very, very front to film and document what that city was going through.
You were also one of the last reporters to leave Afghanistan when it fell to the Taliban. Talk about that.
I've been reporting from Afghanistan my entire career, and I kind of talk about this in depth in my book. And so it was an absolutely astonishing day on August 15th to stand in the street in Kabul and watch the Taliban drive in and take the city. My cameraman, Eric O'Connor, and I very quickly moved to the airport to start filming all of those evacuation flights. And we stayed there for 10 days. We were actually sort of able to spend time with the British paratroopers and rent a room kind of in a hotel complex that they had turned into a military base. So every single day we were filming these unbelievably tragic and surreal scenes of thousands turning to tens of thousands, turning to hundreds of thousands of people rushing to the airport. American soldiers there doing their absolute best, but as the system of visas, passports, any kind of immigration paperwork collapsed, watching them and filming them every day, faced with the repercussions of that, was really, really one of the most tragic scenes I've ever filmed. We eventually left because the British paratroopers had to hand over that base to the Taliban.
Yeah.
And we were, told we'd have to get on one of those C-17 flights. And some of those photographs that you've been showing there with the night vision, with the green lighting, those are those evacuation flights that myself and my team also had to get on to leave Afghanistan. As it would happen, as luck would have it, just hours before the bombing at the Abbey Gate, which killed so many American soldiers and Afghan civilians in that really, really tragic incident in Kabul airport.
Well, the memoir is No Ordinary Assignment. You can find Jane Ferguson on her website and all the socials as well. Jane, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.